Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 608. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is the 12th of March, 2023.
Yeah, we missed 2 weeks.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns, and we both had health stuff.
Yeah.
Laura is allergic to something in her life.
Yay! Look at these bags under my eyes.
We don't know what yet.
I go to that allergist this week.
And I got the worst case of food poisoning or stomach bug or whatever that I have ever had in my life.
Even worse than the sushi on the plane.
Worse.
Really?
I was thinking about that. I was like, at least that was over relatively quick. This was just wouldn't end. So yeah, I mean, life happens, and you guys are wonderful and understanding, so we appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, you would think that having 2 weeks would produce an insane amount of stuff, but it hasn't for me anyway.
A plethora of things.
I like that word. And myriad.
Oh, it's so good. I don't know, I got some stuff done. I made progress on other stuff. I picked back up some stuff. Would you like me to go first?
Go for it.
Sure. So these are the Big Ben socks from Mustache. Last time you saw them, they were right here at the very tip of the toe. I just started them. So I got some good knitting done on these. I'm knitting these on size 1. They are sport weight. Mustache Yarn does some wonderful National Park colorways, and this is one of them. So that is the first thing on my needles.
Wait, Big Ben is a national park?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's out west. Yep.
Did it come first or did the clock come first?
Bend.
Oh,
with a D.
I just heard Ben.
Sorry. Would you like me to enunciate a little bit better? I watched a video, something that I recorded for work, and I was like, man, I sound Southern. And then I was like, I probably sound like that all the time, and I just don't realize, because I never watch videos of myself. So, Big Bend, like the national park. Yeah, it's a cool national park from what I've heard. That is one that I have not been to. And then I also have, from another Crafty Girl yarn, the Weekender Light. So that got a good inch done on it. It should have gotten 2 inches, but, you know, whatever. I've gotten a lot of spinning done. And I'm almost at the end of the first, well, I've made some decent progress. So I'm going to work on this a lot this week. I'm off this week, so obviously I should plan to spin like 4 pounds of fiber and knit a whole sweater. But I would like to make some more progress on this because I have another fingering weight sweater by Tian that I really want to knit. So I got to get moving on this. And that's living in a fat squirrel bag with mushrooms. And then I got some work done on the woolens and Nosh socks. So I left them in the middle of a row, but last time you all saw these, they were right here at this purple. So I got all this of the leg done.
This was her Advent thing, right?
Yep, this was her Advent colorway. And I think she's renamed a similar striping sequence as, I think it was Kaleidoscope, Stained Glass, not Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum was her Pride colorway. Anyway,
because I'm knitting Spectrum right now, and
it's kind of similar.
It's sort of similar. I mean,
yeah.
All rainbows are sort of similar to each other.
Yeah,
so.
This has like a purple base to it. So yeah, I think I am going to get through this dark green and then start some ribbing because it's around a 5-inch cuff right now, and I typically don't like super tall socks, but I keep going because it's so pretty. And then, what else do I have on the needles? I picked back up the coin flip hat. So when last you all saw this, and this is a pattern by Sheena Lines Designs, I had just finished the first panel. So it's got 2 identical panels, and I had stopped because I needed some headspace to do the second provisional cast on. So, during her Zoom this morning, I cast on the second half. Oop, and apparently have dropped all the stitches. Hold, please. So yeah, I cast on the second half. I'm going to fix and pick up those stitches, and got a couple rows knit on that. So yeah, that is what I have been working on. How about you, French?
So I'm working on a couple things, one of which is the thing I'm working on right now, which used to be the Sprinkled with Kindness shawl, and this was out of 2 bases from Spotted Circus, a fingering weight merino and then a lace weight Surrey alpaca. And I decided the pattern is very pretty, but the directions just annoyed me. There's nothing wrong with the directions. The process of creating the shawl that I liked, the process itself just annoyed me for some reason. I can't explain it. I don't know why, but like
It wasn't your jam.
The same stitch on one row, I would increase it into 3, and then on the next right side row, I would decrease that 3 into 1, and it was just over and over every other stitch across the, and doing that in a fuzzy yarn just wasn't my jam. So I ripped it out after sort of having it in timeout for a couple months, and decided I would do a muscle burrow. And that's a hat by Isolde Teague, and it's one of those ones where you can do it in gauge. You just measure after you get to a certain point. I hope I'm going to have enough. If I don't, then whatever.
You can always add stripes or something on the other
side.
side.
I'm not super worried about it. I think I'm going to have plenty. But, so this is out of Spotted Circus, and it's the Shadows colorway, and again, it's in her like merino nylon base and the Surrey alpaca base. And this is the halfway point right there. My little purple stitch marker that I stole from Laura.
Yeah, you did.
So that puts it right about here. So in another inch or so, I'll do some measuring because it'll be coming up on the decreases soon after that. So like I said, I think I'm going to have enough. I started this on a size 4, and that's with the fingering and a lace held together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like bulletproof. So
you went up to a 6?
Went up to a 6.
Yeah.
And it's
sounds
still
about right for Leslie.
Like plenty thick, you know. And it's going to be double thick. So.
Oh, yeah. They'll be nice and warm when you take Carly out in the winter.
So, yeah. Hopefully I will have this done soon. It's part of my quest to finish SSK yarn before the next SSK.
Are we talking about that now?
Not yet.
Okay.
So the other thing that I'm working on is it the only other thing? Yes. I will briefly talk about another thing, but this is Woolens and Nosh in her Spectrum colorway. I ended up buying like 4 skeins from Woolens and Nosh because I
so pretty.
Like her stuff. So this is where I'm at now. So the full color repeat starts with this yellow and ends with this like green here. So I'll probably do another inch-ish and then do a heel flap. These will be for me.
Yay!
And this is the Superwash Targhee base, I think. Let me see.
That's what I'm knitting with.
Yeah, it's the Superwash Targhee base. And I think, I can't tell for sure. Do I have a gauge up here somewhere? I mean, I do, but I don't know where. I think I'm knitting this on 1s, but it's, no, this must be a 2.
I think you told me 2s the other day.
I think it must be.
If you pull out the cord a little bit, it says on it.
I don't think it does on this one. Oh, wait, there it does. It's a 1, size 1. I don't know, for some reason this one doesn't feel as like thick as the other one did.
The sport weight?
Yeah. Well, no, the other one was a fingering weight, but it felt like a sport weight. Maybe it was just a skein that, like, sometimes when they mill skeins, they're not exactly perfect, so I don't know. But I like it. It's knitting up great. And I had cranked 1 skein of this base it was from a different dyer, but it's the same base. This one is Sally from
Geektastic.
Yes, Geektastic. I'm like picturing their booth in my head, but couldn't remember their name. But it's like it's so. I don't think I could even wear it.
It's bulletproof. Yeah.
Like it is so thick.
So are you gonna rip it out?
I think I'm just going to like, yeah, pull it from an end and knit it on a size 3. Even though it is fingering weight, some, they're not all created equal.
Two. Yeah.
Some puff more, and with the sock machine, there's no like, there's no give in the gauge. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's
there's
like 8 stitches per inch,
Yeah.
and that's what you get.
And it's just, there's like very little stretch to this because it's so tight. So I probably will end up.
The stitches want to run free.
Yeah.
Like kindergartners on a playground.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll have to reknit these, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, you just crank them, so it's not like...
Yeah, it's not like I put a ton of time or effort into it. So, yeah, there's that. But I did finish.
What'd you finish?
A pair of socks. This is the Woolens and Nosh that I knit on a size 3. And this was the Roy G. Biv-ish colorway. I used a different color for heels.
That feels like sport weight to me.
It was not labeled as sport, though.
I don't know.
And I have a ton left. And usually with sport, I don't.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know.
It's just a weird gauge thing, The heels and toes are out of...
Maybe you're just feeling loose that day, or tight that... I don't know what you're doing.
Are out of a different yarn. They're not part of Woolens and Nosh, but I really like these, so these are for me.
Yes, good for you.
I washed all of my hand knit socks today.
Mm-hmm.
I washed mine in the washing machine, but I put it on delicate, and...
Did you put a color catcher in there?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And, cold water and all that, and then I hang them up to dry. And Michael has hung these things up in the bathroom for me to... A lot of the clothes that I get now are from Universal Standard. Really like their stuff. They do sizing from 0 to 40 U.S. sizes, and they don't charge you more if you're a bigger size,
This
which
is correct.
I really appreciate. And their clothes are well made.
Yeah.
So...
And seem to be ethically made.
Yeah. They aren't, on the whole, friendly to like normal wash and dry. You normally have to wash them on cold and then hang them to dry, which is fine. But like I was getting to a point where I didn't have space, so Michael hung some stuff for me in the bathroom, some little fold out things where I can hang stuff, and it's completely covered in socks right now.
Yeah.
And Michael was like, I didn't know you knit that many socks.
You should take a picture.
Yeah, I should. There's a lot that I don't have their mate up there. I don't know where it is. And I actually threw away 3 pairs because 2 of them had been mended twice and they were just falling apart, and one of them had like the cuffs had essentially felted, and like I wouldn't have been able to get them over my feet.
Gotcha.
So, and then I've got 2 pairs of Kobe's that need to be mended again.
Well, we should have a mending party on Zoom. Use those sock looms that we got.
Yeah, I've done it before, but the looms do make it easier because they hold everything at a nice tension. I think that's all that I finished. Yeah, I did some watercolor, but I don't remember where I put it, so...
Is it not right there?
No, there's other stuff over there.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it next time.
I have finished objects. Well, a finished object. But there's a finished pair of objects. How about that? Only if I can find them. I got a lot of stuff. I finished a test knit for Sheena Lyons Designs. So I finished the split decision mitts, and the ones that she made have stripes here, but I really wanted to show people the difference between worsted and woolen yarn. So when we talk about woolen yarn, this is woolen yarn, spun from a bat, lots of air and loft added in, super warm and cozy, and this is worsted yarn, which is typically spun from comb top and is more smooth. This has really pretty bits of sari silk in it. So the bat was from Knit Spin Farm, and the gray is from Hip Strings. So I have 2 of them. I really like them. So
I like that gray a lot.
yeah, I have more of that if you would like it.
I might petition Jill for a sweater's lot of it.
I was thinking, yeah, there's some other really pretty, and
Or maybe
I think
not a sweater's lot, but
I
enough for like a
got,
top of some sort.
I got a red braid to spin for you. So at SSK this past year, and I have another gray braid that I got for me. So yay, super cute. The pattern comes out this Thursday. Woolens and Nosh did like yarn support for the pattern, so it uses her DK weight. This used DK weight, and yeah, knit these unsized 2 needles because I am a super loose knitter, and I really like them. And they were gonna go to my grandma, but I think I'm gonna keep these ones for me and another pair for her because I like being able to show people the difference between woolen and worsted. So, and it's a super quick pattern. A couple ends to weave in, more than a couple, but super cute because you do the trim at the top in a different color, and
it's reminiscent of how the recalibrate is. It's like a lot of
or the split decision hat. There's a matching hat pattern.
Yeah, like you can decide how funky it is.
You could do like really cool. You could do a gradient. You could do super fun stuff with it. So
It'd be a good way to use minis.
Yes, I think 250 grams is what the pattern calls for, and then you could like reverse the colors. Be super fun that way too. So super enjoyable. Love Shayna's designs, and I can't wait for y'all to knit these. So yeah, that's it for me for finished objects, but I have tons of spinning. But you have spinning too. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Okay. So I've been participating in Jillian Marino's Patreon, and they did a 100-day spin, and I spun every single day for 100 days. So I'm quite pleased with myself.
She also spun more than anybody else.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's correct yet. But I'll show you.
Because she can't even show you everything. Some of it's for,
So I did. Oh, I forgot part of a skein. Oh well. I spun around 18 ounces for ply, and I've already sent off all that, so that will be in the drape issue, and I'm looking forward to having you all read that when it comes out in around 8 months now, maybe. I think that comes out in December. But some other things that I spun, I course spun a bat from Twisted Urban. She is an awesome person to follow on Instagram if you're into bats or roll eggs. I took a roll egg class from her last Maryland Virtual Fest and really, really enjoyed it, and bought this bat at the same time that I took the class. And it's textured and fun, and it is going to my friend Carol. And after I course spun it, I actually plied it, I thread plied it with this sparkly copper yarn.
I think that's what makes it, honestly.
It's so much fun.
The contrast of the big fuzzy yarn with the spiraling.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I think Carol will like it.
I think so too. I hope so. She likes, what is that company name? I love that bit right there. So pretty. I'll think of it later, but she likes more novelty yarns. It's not superwash, which is something that she typically requires from all her stuff, but I think it'll be okay. I think she's going to do a scarf. Yep. Yeah. So, yep. That is the first thing. Oh, there's a good bit of glitter right there too. It's so pretty. And that's still a little bit damp, and the other thing is still a little bit damp too, or one of the other things. These are singles, and I spun these out of Into the World minis that I held together so that it's all marled.
So even though it looks like it's plied in places, it's not. It's where Laura held two different
everything was held doubled
together.
Yep. So,
and it's only twist that's holding it together.
Yep.
I guess that's true of all yarn, but
so because it is a single, it's always going to bias in one direction, but it's going to be super fun. I'm going to use it for baby hats.
I think Carol might like that too.
She has one of these already that I gave her a couple years ago that she used.
That looks like a Carol.
Yeah. Super fun. So that's 4 ounces and 350 yards. And then 2 other skeins that I finished. This is Wee Chickadee Ephemeral. I love her stuff. It's so pretty. It's 100% Polworth, 350 yards of a 2-ply. This was spun on my Starling. Both the other 2 skeins were spun on a Luette because I wanted some high take up for the art yarn and the singles. So this was spun on the Daedalus Starling. And then I took a braid from, I forgot part of it. So I took this was Into the World in their colorway that came out last month in the club, which was Random Consecutive Order. It's Norwegian wool. I split it and spun it as a 3-ply, so I divided out all the pink fiber and then all the brown fiber in the braid and spun them separately so I could do color work with them.
Okay.
So this is the pink. The brown is hanging on my drying rack, and I forgot to grab it. But, yep, it's super pretty. It's a 3-ply DK. I was thinking about doing another pair of split decision mitts. That was the whole point of splitting it like that. So that'll probably be what that turns into. And the Norwegian wool's super fun. And then still on the bobbins, I have, this is not pretty to look at on the bobbin, but it is really pretty. So on this bobbin it just looks like browns, but the fiber, and I've split it into thirds, is some vintage Southern Cross from David. So this was Club from 2016. So it's going to be a 3-ply, and it is merino mulberry silk. I found it when I was straightening up the fiber closet. So I pulled it out because it is really pretty, and I think it'll be fun. I'm making it so that the blue hits in different places. And then, and it's not typically my color, so it might go to SSK. Yep. So this is a third of a sweater spin. I got some fiber from Wee Chickadee and the Winterberry and some Hello Yarn and Spine Tingler, and I divided them into small strips and spun them up. And there's going to be another bobbin of this. It's already half done. And then another bobbin of just a green and white, and it's going to become a 3-ply, and it should be around a DK weight, and it will be a sweater, and I'm hoping for around 1,200 yards at least. It's 1.5 pounds, so, but it is 8 ounces on each bobbin, so we'll see. I would love it for it to be enough for a sweater.
Yeah,
it should be. It definitely should be. And maybe it'll plump up because it's Polworth and Targhee, or not Targhee, Falkland, which is basically Polworth. So it might plump up. I was having, I got the bobbin so full it did not want to draw on at the end. So it'll be rewound. But yeah, that's it for me for spinning. So not too badly.
Not too badly.
But yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm happy with it. I pulled out a bunch of bats from Knit Spin Farm that I would like to spin this week. So.
Are you going to try to continue spinning every day?
I am. If I spin 2 grams on a supported spindle every day, Leslie's going to get me a prize.
That's true. Because every time, and it isn't super frequent, right? But every time Laura buys a new supported spindle, I'm like, you never... Like, they're beautiful, don't get me wrong.
They're so pretty.
They are worth the value in being an art piece because they are beautiful. I do not discount that. But every time I'm like, you never use them.
They're so pretty, though.
So I told her, I happened to see 2 bags of fiber that were matching as I was getting ready to leave.
From Melanated Boho.
And I told her it's 8 ounces altogether.
Yep.
But if she spun and plied, she didn't have to ply on the supported spindle, but if she spun and plied that 8 ounces by SSK, she would get a prize. So she loves to prove me wrong.
And I love prizes.
That's true.
And I have a doctor's visit on Wednesday that's going to be multiple hours.
Oh, do they do the scratch thing?
So I might take my supported spindle and spin during that time.
Yeah.
Because that won't freak them out at all.
So I did finish some spinning.
Yes. I can't wait to see.
So this was, it came on. This was the Spotted Circus that I was spinning, and it is the Merino and Firestar. This is the Platinum colorway, but it's kind of greenish almost.
It's giving me gray with rainbow.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm seeing green. Let me see if I can.
I think the rainbow Firestar gives it a slightly
Kind of changes the color a little bit.
Sea Witch cast.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like. The colorway is called Platinum, and this is just the most recent one of these. I every time I see Elizabeth at a market, I end up buying some version of her Firestar fiber.
I've spun the white and the black before.
And I was going through my previous SSK purchases and came across these three. They're all the same base. They're just different colors.
You need to do something with them
so
all
there's
together.
the blue base, the red one, and the purple one. I don't know if they're called blue, red, and purple. Eggplant, crimson, and blue, along with this one.
I think those will be, they need to go together in a project.
And it might, but unless I finish all my other SSK 2022 stuff, I'm not going to spin this until that point. But I do like the idea of them all going together in something.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about SSK. What do you have left?
Yes. So I talked, and I don't have that yarn with me, but I talked about using the Nubbly blue that I got from Geektastic in a recalibrate, and while I really love it, it changes the gauge so much that it's really impossible to mix with the other two and be able, because the construction of it changes constantly, and I love that about it. It would be really hard to make that gauge work because the gauge for the blue would be different from the gauge from the other two yarns. So I don't think I'm going to do that. So what I'm thinking of doing instead is I got this from Rick of Whimsy Stitches, and I was thinking of doing one of those shawls where you got like one main color and then some minis that are like mixed in. But I'm thinking maybe not. I'm thinking I might use this in the recalibrate with the other two. But there is a sort of a white already in the skein that I was looking at. There's like a solid, like a leathery brown color, and then a white with like flecks of other colors in it, and then the blue. I wish I had brought it up. I'm sorry. Just describing colors at your face is not super helpful, but
there's a teal and a brown.
I don't know that I could wear this color. I don't know how I feel about wearing this color. So I'm not sure if I could mix it with this and something else for
I like those together. It gives me summer, like, very summer themes.
That's what, and Rick put it together for me, because I was like, just pick.
I wonder if it's enough to do, like, a modulancho.
I don't know that I would wear a modulancho.
Are you opposed to ponchos?
I just think I don't need the help in looking baggy. And it's just not for me.
Okay. So, she's also got that cool vest pattern that we could look at.
So, that was what I wanted to do, is put it out to, like, the group, the universe. If you have a good suggestion for mixing, this is your standard merino nylon, 437 yards, and these are 87 yards a piece. So total yardage together of these is the same, 435-ish.
So like 870-ish together.
Yeah. So if you have a suggestion, I would love to see what that suggestion is. There is some variegation in the scheme. It sort of pops between a peachy and a red-orange-ish. I know our descriptions are different. What would you say that is?
No, I think that's peachy with a reddish-orange.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
and then very pastel, giving me like beach.
Yeah, it's very like Pebbles on the Beach kind of thing.
Yep.
So
it's giving me very like Miami Vice kind of vibes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what's left of SSK 2022 yarn is this.
That might be good for like an Amber O'Brien or a
Like one of the ones that Miss Babs has
oh, you
suggestion
know
because
it'd
they
be
could.
good. That's Martina Bem with the like leaves with the
Oh, I know what
orange.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't
that'd be
think it
fun.
uses enough of the alternate colors though. I'll have to look it up. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. It's sort of like Hitchhiker, but it's
Is it
got the little.
lefty?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
As far as other than that, I've got the 3 skeins I talked about, which I'll have to figure out something to do with. And then these 2 skeins of matching pearlescent
Mm-hmm.
from Colorway. And this one of City Slicker.
I love City Slicker. I have a sweater's lot of that, I believe.
Um, and this is from Urban Girls, Shelia.
Yes.
Uh, so this won't be any trouble at all to find something because it's beautiful and there's almost 500 yards of it. So no, I won't have any problem finding something to knit out of this. And then as far as fiber, I've got 3 braids, no 2 braids left.
Look at you.
So this is the last braid of the Haunted from
hip strings.
Hip Strings. So I'm taking this downstairs with me because I need to spin it. And then this one is from Colorway.
Is it Cheviot or Merino?
Merino.
Nice.
It just says color inspired
That would be
by
a
nature.
great 3-ply.
This is very like Hello Yarny sort of colors.
Yep, the
Sort of scummy,
scrummies.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think I can reasonably finish that stuff by just presuming I can make a decision.
Yeah.
That's where my like hang up.
Ooh. How much yardage is on the 2 from Way?
800 total.
Okay.
But I have leftovers of other stuff I could use as accents.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the top that I did, the shoulder season, would be fun out of that.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's quite enough.
I
don't know.
So
We
yeah,
will play.
this has to go downstairs so I can spin it because everything else is done and it's ready to be plied. This is the micron, or sorry, this is the merino and silk. 70% merino, 30% silk.
Fun.
As far as reading, what have you been doing? Anything
I
good?
have been still listening to Hidden Legacy. I'm about to start the Cultish ebook or audiobook, which is a nonfiction book about the
okay.
language used in cults.
Hmm.
Because.
It's an interesting topic.
It looked interesting. Gwen, our friend, recommended another book by that same author, so I am intrigued, and my public library had it. Yeah, so that is the main thing. I'm going to catch up on Will Trent. I'm going to catch up on Death in Paradise over this break. I foresee a lot of spinning and knitting time. We will see. Hopefully my body cooperates. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. If all I end up doing is laying in bed and reading and saving the babies, that will be okay too. I washed my sheets this morning.
I just changed my sheets yesterday.
That's so good. Doesn't matter that I just changed them last week. It's still so good. The first day of new sheets. Ugh, before my dog jumps in them and gets mud everywhere.
Yep, I went down there earlier today and there were little, dirty paw prints on my pillows and I'm like, I just changed them. And by saving the babies, Laura's talking about playing like mind-numbing games on your iPad. Or
yeah, that's what there. We used to play a game called Bubble Mania, and you would shoot bubbles, and little babies would escape, like little baby critters.
Yeah, pandas. I think.
And that's where that phrase comes from.
Yeah.
So it's just mindless, like Candy Crush,
matching
or,
style.
Yeah, those types of games that are found in an iPad or iPhone and do not require a ton
Very
of
little thought.
thoughts.
Yeah. So I am reading the Monstrous series by Lily Mayne. I'm on the last one now.
Oh, good. How's that going?
It's good. I needed a break from it, so I read the first in the Kate Daniels short story, like
The Happily Ever
novellas.
After?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in Wilmington. and it was really interesting. I assume you've read it because they.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So it's really interesting because it pops between Kate's, Curran's, and Conlon's points of view.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's told in a really interesting way. It was way too short. Like, I say that as someone who just loves the book and wish it was longer. Not a criticism. But
Yeah, they have a new one coming out in June.
I pre-ordered that one, and it made me really miss Kate. So, which is so stupid because Kate is a fictional character in a world that does not exist.
But
like,
are you gonna restart listening?
I restarted listening to Kate Daniels. I'm on the end of the first book already. They're about to fight an Upir.
Yes.
And she and Curran still hate each other. Of
Love
course.
it. Yes.
So
it's a very slow burn.
Yeah, as I'm listening to that, I've been listening to the podcasts I've talked about before, like Maintenance Phase, If Books Could Kill, and I started a new one called 5 to 4, and it's these 3 lawyers, and one of the lawyers is also on the If Books Could Kill podcast. That's how I found it.
Okay.
But it's these 3 lawyers talking about Supreme Court decisions.
Interesting.
And basically reminding us that those Supreme Court justices are human and sometimes just as dumb as the rest of us, or they make decisions that feel dumb, at least.
Yeah.
So
I bet Holly would like that.
it's really good. Apparently, spoiler alert, the guy who hosts, one of the hosts of that, who hosts the If Books Could Kill podcast, his name is Michael Shamshiri. Apparently he got fired for doing the podcast.
Oh.
Because he was a lawyer with, worked at a firm or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know the details yet. I haven't gotten that far. I started at the beginning.
Interesting.
But, yeah. Let's see, what else? Laura's been hardcore into the Jillian 100-day spinning thing.
Hardcore, and I love it. Her Patreon is amazing and just so fun, and I really enjoy it. If you're interested in spinning at all, I cannot highly recommend her Patreon enough. It's just great.
Speaking of Patreon,
yeah, we have Patreon stuff coming up.
Yeah, we need to schedule it and notify people, but we would like to do 2 fail events this month because we missed last month because it just got away from us.
Yep.
With travel and all that.
Sickness.
So,
yep.
Yeah, we will be sending out a notification.
So we'll do one on mending.
Yes, like
the
darning
looms.
socks
Yep.
and stuff.
And then the other one, we were going to do those beads.
Yeah, we've got like perler bead crafts. I've never done anything with perler beads, but I guess it's a thing. Like, there's all sorts. You basically just need the beads and a flat surface and an iron, and like you can do all sorts of stuff. So
you can.
Is this something you did with your mom? Okay. Well, good. Laura will be the
But
expert
like,
on
there's
it.
new like jewelry type stuff that people are doing. Like, people are taking perler beads to like an adult next. I love it when people take like crafts that they enjoyed as a child and like next level them.
Yeah.
It's super fun, and I love seeing that on TikTok especially. So I saw one and I was like, Leslie.
Yeah. And then
We
I
are
did some
doing
research
that.
and I was like, ooh, okay, there's different stuff here. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just making like little images of Mario.
Yeah. Which
is also fun.
That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, I think that's it. We've got potato soup waiting for us downstairs.
We do. It's my birthday month. I had to throw that in there.
And I'm surprised it's taken you until the 12th to tell me that.
I know.
It's shocking.
It's
truly.
So when Leslie yells at me for spending too much money on yarn and fiber, my answer is going to be, it's my birthday month.
Yeah.
So there is that. It's the best.
It's the best excuse for Laura.
It is. And I booked my hotel for Flyaway, so if you're interested in seeing Leslie outside of SSK, you are out of luck.
Yep.
But if you're interested in seeing me, I will be at both Flyaway and Maryland Sheep and Wool's 50th anniversary this year. Super
I didn't realize they were
stoked.
like a week apart. Like, I
Yes,
had no
there's going to
idea.
be so much travel.
I, for some reason, I was just sure that Flyaway happened in like mid-March. I don't know why I thought that.
Nope.
But
There is an event that's happening. They moved Dixon to March,
hmm.
so that's the weekend after my birthday or before my birthday. But I don't know. It's a 4-hour drive for us
Yeah.
each way, so we got to think about that one.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a lot of Leslie driving while Laura knits or supported
sleeps.
spin time or sleeps. That's also a true thing that happens, especially now that this is happening. But yeah, be kind to yourselves and have a good week, and we will see y'all later.
Yep.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.